Today we're learning Maseches Rosh Hashanah. Before Rosh Hashanah, that's the last year, the last shiur of the year in Yaakov. So it's in Daf Tezayin Amud Beis Maseches Rosh Hashanah. V'amar Rav Yitzchak, Shloisha Dvorim Maskirim Avonoisov Shel Odom. We're coming to Rosh Hashanah. We don't want, when we're davening, something should remind about us something negative, and it says three things could remind of our avert. What they are, kir notui, meaning if a person walking in a place that the wall is about to fall. The idea over here, so you're relying on a miracle because that wall is about to fall, and you're saying I'm going to go through, and hopefully it's not going to fall when I go through. So you're relying on a miracle. So the same thing would be any dangerous situation that you go to, whether you're driving recklessly, you're going to a neighbor that's not safe to walk, or you're going into the bridge that's about to fall, and you're relying on a miracle. That's maybe Hashem going to make the miracle, maybe not, but even He did the miracle, that will remind the person is avert, because then before they help him in Shemayim, they look in his portfolio. Is he worthwhile to help him or not? What is chusim? What is avert? So Mamela, they start looking into you. Who needs that?
You're driving through Gaza.
No, nobody wants FBI or IRS to start looking into him. Even everything is okay. You don't want that. So we don't want Shemayim. And then, I'm not comparing Shemayim to FBI or IRS, but you don't want anybody looking into your inyanim. And even let's say Hashem helped you, made you a miracle. So the Gemara in Maseches Tainis, the Gemara says, never daven for a miracle, personal for you, for Klal Yisrael you could, for you not, because either it's not going to happen. If it's happened, Hashem could empty your savings account, the spiritual savings account, schusim. We have to build some schusim for ourselves, for our kids, for our grandchildren. And if Hashem is going to make you a miracle, He might clean up your savings account. Anyway, so that's one of the things that's reminding our aveiros. It's kir notu, meaning I'm going in a dangerous place and I'm relying on a miracle. The iyun tefillah. What's iyun tefillah? There's iyun tefillah that's brought in the Gemara in a negative and a positive way. The negative iyun tefillah, which is not recommended, which is that could remind of aveiros, when a person daven and thinks, I daven so good, Hashem have to do what I asked him. And he's waiting now. When are you going to do what I asked you to do? I daven so good. Hashem says, you know what, let me see if you deserve that. And then they start looking into your inyanim. That's negative. The positive iyun tefillah, which is that's brought, we're saying every morning that by the Braise, after Birkas HaShachar, we're saying, Elu Dvorim, here. אלו דברים שאדם אוכל פרסם בעולם הזה, והקרן קמת בעולם הבא, ואלו הנקיבוד אברהם גומלס חסודים, והשכמת בין שחס וערבי, זכנה סופים, קוראים וחס קלה, והלוואי הסמס, ואיון תפילה, meaning איון תפילה, there's a positive one that you get the dividends in this world, and the principle you get in the other world. What's the good iyon tefillah? When you're davening well, but without any expectation. You're davening, you put yourself, you immerse into davening, that's a good one. The iyon davening, good, it's good, but don't have expectation. Oh, now Hashem must reply to me. That could remind us. You daven good, connect to Hashem, ask from Hashem. Don't look for results. That itself, the davening, connecting to Hashem, it's already a big inyan. Hashem going to do what He's going to do whatever. But over here we're talking about the iyon that reminds our aveiros. When you thinking Hashem have to do, I daven good. Hashem have to do what I asked Him. That's not good. Somebody have a dispute with someone else. That's very common. People a lot of times say, let Hashem be the judge. In many different cultures, they have this expression, Hashem will be the judge. It's the worst thing you could do to yourself. Why? Because by saying that, Hashem will judge us, meaning I trust that I am right and you are wrong. That's why you're saying it. Hashem will know the emes. And you think Hashem knows the emes the way you know the emes. Your emes is the only emes you think. So that could remind of aveiros of yours, because maybe you're not so right. Maybe in this case, maybe in another case. We'll never know things happening. We think sometimes the world is not fair. You never know. Maybe you have some cheshbon from the previous Gilgul. We don't know the whole big picture. So they never, Moiser din al chaver, never say to your friend, Hashem will be our judge. And the Gemara brings a ra'ayah, shenemar, batoimer Sorai, el Avram, chamosi olecha. When Sorai Yimenu had a conflict with Avram Avinu regarding Hagar, that Hagar mistreated her. The Gemara says that the pasuk says Sarai told Avram, "Chamosi alech, I'm angry at you." And then she says, "Yishpat Hashem ben you benecha." Hashem should be the judge between us. And what happened to Sarai? Sarai Menet Tzadekis. What happened to her? It says, Vayova Avram lispet l'Sara v'livkoisa. Avram buried her, Avram Avinu, and he gave a eulogy, even though she was younger than him, and she died a lot younger than what he died. He died at the age of 175. She died at 127. That's, according to the Gemara, what caused her to die so early. That's what she said to Hashem. To Avram Avinu, Hashem yishpet beni u'banech. Hashem should be the judge. I mean, you're so sure you're better than Avram, and that Hashem doesn't like that. Again, we see over and over, all over the Gemaras, that the way we approach davening, especially now coming Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Yom Neroim, we don't approach davening as a tzaddikim, especially not just righteous but self-righteous. That's the wrong way to approach davening. No, we approach davening as a Oni B'Pesach, like a pauper coming to ask for help, as a Baal Tshuva. And that's the machlokes in the Gemara, the shofar. What the shofar have to be? Straight shofar or more bent shofar? L'maisa of paskening that the shofar have to be bent. What's the machlokes over there? It's have to be straight or bent. The inyan of straight shofar is avodas tzaddikim. Something the shofar come at the poshut. The more poshut, the more straight it is, the better it is. Even if the come as a poshut, as a tzaddik, he's a poshut. He doesn't have any crooked ways. He always was straight with serving Hashem. So that's one opinion. That's how you approach. But the L'maisa l'halach were paskening that kama the kofuf better. The kama the kofuf libei tfei odiv. The more you come to Hashem with a bent heart, meaning you feel I'm not perfect, I'm not right, I did many avers and many mistakes, and I'm coming with humility. And that's l'halacha. We take a shofar, the whole idea of davening and Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and every day. You're not coming as a righteous or self-righteous. You're coming to Hashem as I'm asking for help. I'm not right. I'm coming as a Baal Tshuva. That's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves the Baal Tshuvas more than tzaddikim. Because they're coming with more humility, and that's the idea of Moshe Din Al Chaveiroi. By doing that, saying Hashem will judge us, meaning I'm right. Never have such an approach. You're coming to Hashem, not that you are right. That's not how you're coming to Hashem. Now the Gemara says like this: Arba Dvarim, V'amar Rav Yitzchak, Arba Dvarim Mekarin Gzar Dina Shalodam. 4 things could tear apart the gezerah, nullify the tear apart the gezerah. Which does 4 things? Ve'elohen tzedakah. Giving tzedakah. Soon we're going to see what kind of tzedakah it is. It's not so pashut. Then tzedakah. Tzedakah means davening. You daven. You cry from the bottom of your heart, not some with the lips, with your heart. Tzedakah. Tzedakah. When you're yelling, you're not yelling just from your lips. You're yelling from the bottom of something hurting you, something you're screaming from the bottom of your heart. So that's davening like this from the bottom of your heart. So one tzedakah, second tzedakah davening, and then shinui Hashem, changing the name. Soon we're going to see what that Shinui Hashem means over here, literally or something else. The Shinui Maisa, changing your deeds. That's possible, changing your deeds from worse to better, could tear apart the Gezerah. Now the Gemara goes back to tell you each one of them. Tzedakah. How do we know tzedakah could tear apart the Gezerah, nullify the Gezerah? The Chsiv, tzedakah, Pasuk in Mishle, tzedakah, tatzil mimoves. Tzedakah could save somebody, God forbid, from death. So to giving tzedakah, even though it was a bad decree, if it could save you from death, how much more from Gezerah Rosh, from other decrees which is not so bad as that. However, it's not so poshut at all. We need to know there's a Gemara in the Basra, and with that Gemara we'll clarify this Gemara. What can I say? We could talk about specific tzedakah. There's many levels of tzedakah. There's one specific level that helps to save a person from that, and that's the Gemara in the Basra Daf Yud at the end of Amud Aleph. Yud Amud Aleph. The Gemara says like this: there's 2 tzedakahs. One could save somebody from Gehenna, and one could save somebody from death. Not just from death. God forbid, everybody's going to end up. We're talking about Misa Meshuna. God forbid a tragic death. Not from old age and is bad. A tragic death, and tzedakah could save that. That shouldn't happen. Which one is this? What kind of tzedakah is this? The Gemara says, "Noisna ve'enayadayla min noisna, noitlo ve'enayadayla min noitla." The giver giving the tzedakah, he doesn't know who he gives it to. He gives it to a poor man. He doesn't know who is the poor man. The recipient, the poor man, receives the tzedakah. He doesn't know who is the giver. The giver and the recipient don't know from each other. This is that level of tzedakah. Only that level could nullify or tear apart of the gezerah, God forbid, from Misa Meshuna or from Gezerah's Rosh. The Gemara says, so how do you do that? Yeah? So the Gemara says, when you give it tzedakah to a gabbai, the gabbai you trust. Somebody you trust, and you give it to somebody like Rab Chananya ben Tradion, or somebody, a good gabbai you trust, is a trustworthy man. You give it to tzedakah. He gives it to a poor man. The poor man doesn't know, that the gabbai is not his money. He's just being a funnel over here
Yeah.
to funnel the money. So the recipient doesn't know where it's come from. The giver who took it, when they meet both on a kiddush, on a chasana, he doesn't feel, the recipient doesn't feel embarrassed. The giver doesn't feel, you owe me a favor. He doesn't know, he's not machzik toivel enough. It's the best tzedakah. You don't feel, at the highest level of tzedakah, and such a tzedakah, that's the moment, such a tzedakah, the Gemara says, who tear apart a gezerah. That you don't know who the recipient, don't know who you got it from. Okay. Tzedakah. How do we know that tzedakah could tear apart the gezerah? The chsiv, pasuk in Tehillim, Kuf Zayin, Ve'itzakum, El Havaya, Batzar Lohem. The davening to Hashem when they in a tight spot. So that we know, and then Hashem helped them over there. Shinoi Hashem, how do we know changing the name helps? The chsiv, Vayimer Hashem Lavrom, Sorai Ishtecha Lo Sikro, Es Shmo Soroi, Ki'im Sora Shmo. Don't call it Sorai anymore. Sorrow, change the name, and then we know they get a child. Avram became Avram from Avram. So from that we know that even as a bad decree, a bad mazel over there, with the changing the name, you could change the gezerah. Oh, Shinoi Maise by Yoina. After Yoina, when they read in Yom Kippur, it says over there, Vayare Elokim es Maaseyim, ki shovu midarkom horo, uchsi vayinochem Elokim al Rosh diber l'asas loim v'lo oso. So meaning, Hashem put ahead a decree on Nineveh to destroy it. But Hashem saw they changed, they did tshuva, so Hashem changed his mind. He didn't punish them. Okay. So again, there's four things could help to tear apart the bad gezerah. It's tzedakah, giving tzedakah, especially as we said, you're giving it to a gaba you trust, so you don't know who you're giving it to, the receiver don't know who the giver. Tzedakah, davening, shinoi, Hashem changing the name, the shinoi matter, changing the deed, meaning doing tshuva. I'm not doing any more foolish things I did in the past. From now on, I'm not going to do this, and that could tell that. Gemara adds a fifth thing now. Yesh omrim av shinoi mokem, changing the name. The Gemara says mishana mokem, mishana mazel, hopefully latoiva. So changing a place. Okay. So now this whole thing is not so posh. Someone questioned this. So what? A person going to keep on changing the name every year? Let's say. Every year you're going to get a new name? Or what? And you're going to start changing your house or apartment every year also? Change mazel? So according to the Smag and the Ran, the Marshal quotes them, so the Shinui Hashem, the changing the name, and Shinui Mokem, changing the place, has a whole new meaning. Shinui Hashem meaning, when a person does a real tshuva, let's say Chaim did an avert. Now when he does tshuva, he's saying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, like the Rambam says, I'm a new man, I did tshuva. I'm not that Chaim that did, so he's a new, different Chaim. You could be the same name, but you are new, that's a new person now. With a new name, it's not the old, because I'm a new person, I did tshuva, you become a new person. Same thing, Shinui Mokem. Shinui Mokem does not mean you're going to every year or every so often change your place of living. No. Shinui Mokem means if you were in one spot in your Avodas Hashem, or not Avodas Hashem, and far away from Avodas Hashem, you were in one position, and through tshuva, through good deeds, you change now. You're in a different position. That changing the position from where you are to where you're going, that means Shinui Mokem. You change your place in a spiritual standing. You're in a different place. And that, such a Shinui Mokem, could change the gezerah.
That could be being nicer to your wife and from in the house.
That could be too. Starting the tzedakah starts in your backyard. Now, I want to tell you like this. Now, I want to tell you a ma'aseh. I was one time in a Fabrengen in about 30 years ago in the Simchas Torah, and everybody spoke. Everybody said his experience. There was one man over there. He said his experience. He says before he did tshuva, he says he used to spend his Shabbosim, Yom Tovim, going with his what? The motorcycle. Thank you. With the motorcycle, he was going to know every Shabbos for Yom Tov. That's what they had. And he had a holiday, legal or Jewish holiday. He was whenever he had time, including every Shabbos, he would roam someplace in upstate New York. His motorcycle. Then he says when he did tshuva, he says he comes home, he goes to shul on Shabbos, he makes kiddush, and he was very, very. Baruch Hashem was a big change from Chal Shabbos for Veresia, keeping Shabbos, making kiddush. When I was there, obviously you hear the story and you nespoil. A guy was mamash Michal Shabbos for Veresia, now he's close to Hashem. He's definitely changed the place, changed the name, he's a new man. However, there's one problem over here. He was doing it already then for about 25 years. So you could ask, for 25 years, that's all you accomplished? That you, from driving a motorcycle You're doing Kiddush on Shabbos, that's all. That's what all year can, 25 years. So it's a long time to learn more Sforim, to finish more Sforim, to grow a lot more. You can't be in one. That's Shinui Mokim, meaning you have to change. You cannot stay in one place. There's a famous story for the Baal Shem Tov. Somebody, a farmer, came to daven with the Baal Shem Tov, the measure bush on Yom Kippur, and he saw there's such a big oilers by davening. He trying to participate. He tries. He can't open a siddur. He's a farmer. He never learned olive. He doesn't know anything. But he feels. Look at these people. The mama is so much immersed into davening. The davening with the chayes, with the brand. I can't read. What I'm going to do? It came out. He was so such an urge to daven, and he said a kukuriko. Like he got used to on the farm. He was together with the roosters. So he says kukuriko. And people like middle of Yom Kippur, this guy, middle of the shul of the Baal Shem Tov saying kukuriko, they wanted to throw him out. But Shem says, wait. You should know, he says, there was a gezeira in Shamayim, and our davenings were not going through. There was like a cloud, and his kukuriko, he says, tore all this cloud, and the tefillahs went up. He says, because even though he didn't know how to daven, he didn't know nusachat tefillah, but this kukuriko came from the bottom of his heart, he said. And that's, together, our words with his heart together, made it up. So the thing is like this. I heard such a thought from somebody. He says, that was good when this farmer came to the shul of the Baal Shem Tov and made kukuriko, the year he came. What happened if he would come again the following year, and every time come during the daven kukuriko? They probably would throw him out. Yeah. Because first time kukuriko, I understand, you didn't learn Aleph Beis yet. But the second year, Yom Kippur, you had a whole year to learn your davening. So it's not going to be excuse. Some excuses are good one time. So what you were Mechalel Shabbos Feresia and driving your motorcycles on Shabbos, now you're doing Kiddush. It's very nice for the first year. Second year, if you do more than Kiddush. Third year, if you do a lot more than that, then by that, after 25 years, you could be already a big Talmud Chacham. So where you can, that's Shinui Mokim does not mean change your address. Shinui Mokim means you're not in the same place. And that's Chazal, there's a Gezeira, you're in a new place. So the Gezeira doesn't apply to you. Now the Gemara says, the Gemara question of the Idach. So what happened to the first opinion? The first opinion only said 4 things. Again, tzedakah, tzedakah and davening, Shinui Hashem, Shinui Maisa, changing the name, changing your deeds. The other man, the Omar Ed, also Shinui Mokim, changing the place. Why the first one did not say changing the place? The Gemara says the reason they said because Ahuz Chusa, there is the Anyale. That's not only by Avram Avinu. When he told him, Lech lecha me'artzecha, then I'm going to make you a big nation. The reason, it wasn't just changing a place. It was going to Eretz Yisrael. So stop changing a place. From one place, that's not going to help. If you're going from Chutzalor to Eretz Yisrael, that's going to be a big change. Now, what's the difference in the two opinions? I'll tell you the difference. The Gemara at the end of Yuma said there's 2 types of tshuvas. There is a tshuva called a tshuva me'ira, smaller level of tshuva, which is in the Lashon of the Zohar, tshuva tatoah, the lower level of tshuva. Then there is tshuva me'ahava, when you do tshuva from love to Hashem, and the Lashon of the Zohar, tshuva ilah, high level of tshuva. And these are the 2 levels over here. The level just changing a place, that's the second opinion, that helps. Even a little tshuva me'ira, a small tshuva, you change your place, that's going to be good enough. The first opinion did not say this, is no, you need to do such a tshuva level of Eretz Yisrael. Level of Eretz Yisrael, tshuva me'ahava, then only that's such a big level of tshuva from love to Hashem. And the details of this tshuva, the Altrebex and Geras tshuva, and other story to talk about it, that could make a change in your mazel. Stam tshuva, small tshuva, that's not going to do it. That's Zchus Eretz Yisrael. The level of Eretz Yisrael, over there we're close to Hashem through space, but the idea over there, such a closeness to Hashem, have a love to Hashem, only that could tear apart the Gezerah. That's such a Shinui Mokim. Okay, we have a few minutes. The Gemara is like this. Omar Rav Kros Bedoy, Omar Rav Yochanan, Shlosh Yasam V'Donu B'Rosh Hashanah. You have 3 Svarim on Rosh Hashanah. Echad Shel Tzadikim Gemurim, Ve'echad Shel Reshoim Gem, Ve'echad Shel Beinanim. Tzadik, Rosh, or Beinani. Okay, the Gemara is like this. Tzadikim Gemurim Nichtavim, V'Nichtamim L'Alter L'Chaim. Tzadikim Gemurim, Hashem gives them right away, rights and seals it. They go for life, whatever it means, for life. And Reshoim Gemurim Nichtavim L'Alter L'Misa, U'Beinanim, people in the middle, Tluim Amnim Roshon Ad Yom Kippurim. Zocho Nichtavim L'Chaim. If they have a schus during Aseret Mitzvah, they're going to go with the tzaddikim, L'Chaim. First of all, from the Gemara of Yir Mashma, they're being written and sealed and signed already for the tzaddikim Gemurim, L'Chaim, and Rosh Hashanah already. It's interesting, the Magen Avram, in Simon Tov Kuf Pei Beis, Simon Koton Ches brings, he brings like this. B'Sefer Yud Mamoros, Chelek Beis. תראה, שגם צדיקים אין נחתמים אלא ביום הכיפורים, רק שנחתמים בראש השנה. He holds the Asara Mamoros, even tzaddikim that don't have chasima on Rosh Hashanah. They being written on the Rosh Hashanah. How to explain it? The Gemara says nichtamim. The Alter Rebbe explained it al pi Chassidus. Yeah, that's already done deal. But the way the Ashpoas from the other world coming to us, it's coming over there. It's all spiritual world. They don't speak in our language. We need the Ashpoas in Gashim, Zbana, Chayim, Zoyna, Reviche. We need it in money, in health. Over there, they give Ashpoas. So that big Ashpoas that's coming on a spiritual level breaks down slowly through Aseret Tshuva, Yom Kippur, every day of the year. So that's the pshat. There is such a level of Chatina, but it's not complete yet. It's just being completed by Yom Kippur. Okay, without getting too much into it. Okay, now one more piece of information before the Rosh Hashanah. The Gemara is like this. The Gemara argues over here, and that's really Daf Yutches Amud Aleph. The Gemara argues over here if you could change a decree, if it was a decree already, like Chasima, Yom Kippur, Nichtamim, it was a decree that's signed, if you could change this. So there's what many opinions. Omar Rav Yitzchak going back. Yofet Tzokal Odom ben Kodem Gzardin ben Achar Gzardin. Tzaka meaning again, davening from the bottom of your heart, it could help you, whether before it's sealed, after it's sealed, it could help. Then the Gemara questioned this. We see after the pasuk in Yirmiyah that's already sealed. There's nothing you could do. So the Gemara says at the hand like this. There's a difference between a signature, something sealed, with a shvuah, with an oath, or without a shvuah. If it's without a shvuah, you could change it. If there's a shvuah on it, that you cannot change. That's it. It's final. The Gemara brings a raya. There's a pasuk in Shmuel. V'lochen nishbati lebeis Eli. In Ischaper, avoin beis Eli bezeva v'hu mincha. I mean, Hashem says, Hashem gave an oath to the beis Eli, the marbis beis chayamusu anoshim. Hashem said to Eli, to his chofni or Pinchas, the one that they sinned to Hashem, that they're all their children are going to die young age. And over there was a shvuah. V'lochen nishbati. It was a shvuah decree. It says, Hashem says, you could bring korbanos, you could do tshuva. There's nothing going to help. This is a final decree. But according to this, whatever is sealed already, plus a shvuah, we don't know. We do tomorrow. We do a Torah Tadorim. We do a Torah Shvuas, Charamas, and everything. In case should be no shvuah, it's fine. But we don't know. So according to this mashma, it could be a chitimtza, but something you cannot change. Here comes the Gemara. It's interesting. There's nothing. Nothing is final. Nothing is final. Till Cherev Chadam Unachal Tzarov Tzoshu Benadam. Till the last. Till you're alive. Nothing is final. Here's the one's like this. The one says, Amar Rabba, bezevach u'b'mincha and miskaper, aval miskaper u'b'divrei Torah. Even such a decree that came with a shvuah, with an oath, that you cannot nullify it with davening, with korbanos, nothing. Through Torah you could do. The Gemara says there was two big scholars from the house of Eli, Rabba and Abai. The Rabba is the Rebbe, Abai is the Talmud. Tarayim with best Eli kosum. Rabba the osak b'Torah, Rabba that learned Torah chayar boin shnin. He lived 40 years. For Rabba it was a longevity. Living full, because all the house of Abbas Eli dying at 18, he lived 22 years longer, meaning he tore the decree for 22 years because of learning Torah. Abaye, the Osak is Talmud B'Torah, but Gemilas Chasodim Chaya Shitin Shnin. Abaye, that was Osak B'Torah and Gemilas Chasodim, he lived 42 years longer. For him it was a very, very deep old age, because compared to the other members of the family dying at 18. So you see from here, there's really nothing final. He could always, even though it says there's nothing to do. No, Rabbi Yitzchak says even there's chasima tzaka yofa, you could change a decree. Then comes Rabbah saying even there is a shvuah that says you cannot change it. No, comes with a Torah. I'm finishing with this. The Gemara says, the Gemara says like this. There was a family, the kids were davening at the age of 18. They told Rabbi ben Zakkai, this family, they're losing the children by age of 18. Maybe that family, Beis Eli, there's a shvuah, there is a curse over there. They're all going to die young. Don't go start learning Torah v'chiyu. You're going to start living. That's how it was. You give them a miracle. Today you go to a kubal, it gives you some kind of pasuk. Just go learn Torah, and you're going to live longer. And that's what happened. The Gemara says the family started living longer. While you koyin also mishpachas Rabbi Yochanan al Shmoy. Since Rabbi Yochanan was the one told them this eitzah, they started living longer. They called the whole mishpacha in the name of Rabbi Yochanan.